In this video, we are going to be talking about regret. Do narcissists feel regret? Can they ever feel regretful? Now, a lot of people get this confused. Narcissists can't feel remorse. They can't feel bad for what they've done to you because they lack affective empathy. So they have an inability to understand or share your feelings and experience. They have an inability to feel what you feel, to put themselves in your shoes, to where they're able to share your emotional experience. They have an inability to do that. So they can't feel remorse for you. They can't feel like they've harmed you and then feel bad for you. They don't get to have that experience. But what they do feel is regret. They feel like they have made a foolish decision and that they have lost something. But when they feel like they've made a foolish decision, that experience really lasts for a split second. And then what do? They rage. It causes a narcissistic injury because they have to view themselves as perfect. They have a black and white mentality. They're either all good or they're all bad. So then to sustain the false self, they've got to project that onto you. They've got to shift the blame onto you. They've got to make you feel like it was your decision. You did something wrong in the relationship. It wasn't them. But there is that split second window where they do feel like they've messed up. And that's why they then project. That's why they then shift it onto you. And they get you to take ownership of that. They can also feel a sense of loss, disappointment, dissatisfaction. You got to think about, why did they get involved with you? Why did they target you? Why did they get around you? They didn't get around you for nothing. They got around you because they wanted something from you, even though they were not worthy or deserving of your qualities or characteristics. They did not deserve any of that from you because they wore a mask. They manipulated you. They pretended to be something that they're not, in order for you to then render your qualities, your characteristics over to them. And that's why they wore a mask. That's why they manipulated you. Because otherwise, of course, you wouldn't have given them the time of day. You wouldn't have given them your qualities, your characteristics, your money, your possessions, if you knew that they were not worthy of it. But that's why they had to wear a mask. That's why they had to manipulate you, so that you would think that they're worthy of it. And then you would give them your qualities. And this doesn't have to be something you're doing consciously. Subconsciously, you assume that they're worthy, so then you give it to them. You share it with them. But then you're not really sharing anything with them at all. They don't want you to share anything with them. They don't want a shared experience. They can't experience that. They lack empathy. They just want to take it from you. They want to strip you of it. They view you as an object, as a possession. From the moment they first set their sights on you, they saw it as though your qualities, your characteristics, your money and possessions, your life was going to be theirs. They weren't thinking of giving anything back to you. They haven't got anything of equal value, of equal exchange to reciprocate back to you. They wore a mask. They pretended to be something that they're not. So they come around you just to take, just to steal your qualities and characteristics, to steal your money and possessions, to steal your life. Because essentially, they want to be you. Yes, they may have the false character, they may be wearing a mask. But from the moment that they first set sights on you, it kind of revealed flaws, defects in their false self. And they then wanted to cover that up. They wanted to conceal it. It may not always be that they saw you as being greater than the false self. It could just be that they saw things in you that were missing in their false self. And that's then what they wanted to take from you. Because this is what they do. They go from person to person, situation to situation, wearing these masks, mirroring people, stealing their qualities and characteristics, stripping them of things, and then just combining them with the false self to construct what they believe is this perfect, faultless, flawless character that has no flaws, that has no defects. And that's why they target you, to enhance their manipulation, to steal qualities from you, to construct this false character, which they can then use to manipulate someone else. Because they see it as though if they got involved with you, if they manage to get things out of you, then they can go off, taking your qualities, using that to manipulate someone better than you. But what they may not have accounted for is that maybe they didn't get all that they wanted from you. Maybe they had it all planned out in their minds of how it was going to go. They thought things were going to go a certain way. They thought they were going to get certain things out of you. And maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't get all that they bargained for. Maybe they didn't get everything that they wanted. Maybe you kept some things hidden from them. Maybe you were suspicious about them, so you didn't want to reveal all of it. Maybe you wanted to see how they handle this, how they deal with this first, before you reveal the rest of it. Or maybe things started to get better for you after the relationship ended. And then they had to witness that. They had to witness you moving on, being happy without them. Because that's typically how it goes. They bring out the worst in us. Of course they do, because they have to dominate and control us. They have to manipulate and gaslight us. So how could they ever get the best of us? In order to get the best out of someone, they've got to be in control of their own lives. They've got to have power over themselves. So the narcissist can only ever get the worst out of you. And I'm sure many of you, being involved with a narcissist, you remember what it was like. That wasn't the best of you. They brought the worst out of you. That wasn't even who you were. That's nothing like how you are. But they made you into that because that's what they're like. And they wanted to swap characteristics with you. They wanted to make you more like them so that they could feel more confident, calm and relaxed. So they swapped places with you. By doing that, they brought out the worst in you. They brought out themselves in you as you began to act more and more like them and less like yourself. So they didn't get the best out of you. Because in order for someone to get the best out of you, they've got to let you have power over yourself and your own life. They've got to let you be the captain of your own ship. While they're nurturing your qualities. They're helping you to grow. They're motivating and encouraging you towards the right direction. Instead of fighting you, instead of keeping you down, instead of controlling you. So they didn't get the best out of you. And this is how I've seen it so many times. What happens when a victim leaves the narcissist, when the narcissist disregards the victim goes off, heals, and becomes a lot happier, more successful. They start doing bigger, better things. Because now, you've no longer got that dead weight in your life. You've no longer got the weight of the world on your shoulders. You no longer have to deal with that. So of course, you're going to become a lot happier. You're going to be a lot more successful. You're going to be feeling good about yourself. Because you've no longer got that darkness in your life. And why are they so dark? Why are they so negative? Why are they so pessimistic? They're negative. Because by being negative, they're taking away from you. They're taking away your qualities, your characteristics. When people are being positive, they're not taking anything away from you. They're adding to you. They're complementing you. Now, narcissists are deficient. They lack a lot of things. They lack an identity. They lack a strong sense of self. They lack their own power, their own self-belief, their own confidence. That's why they got the false self. So they have to be negative around you. They have to be pessimistic. They have to gaslight you. They have to make everything confusing. So that you're then trying to be positive. You're trying to resolve things. Because by doing that, you are then transferring your qualities, your characteristics over to them. And that's what they want. They want to steal all of that from you. They want to rob you of it. Because of course, yes, they are robbing you of it. They're not worthy of it. They wear a mask. They use a false character to make you think that they are the same as you. They mirror you. Because that's the thing, I mean, random people who have nothing to do with you, no shared interest, they're not meant to have your qualities, your characteristics. If they rob that from you, if they steal it, it's fake. That's not really them. And then they just go off and they trick other people. They manipulate them as well. And then other people just get robbed. Other people get tricked. Other people are left feeling disappointed, dissatisfied. Because nothing was reciprocated back to them. But yeah, that's what these narcissists want from you. They want to steal your qualities, your energy, your characteristics. They want to be you. That's why they get around you and they're negative, they're pessimistic, they attack you, they devalue you, they discredit you, while giving you nothing back in return. Nothing back to encourage or develop you. Because they're robbing this from you. They're taking part of you to add to their false self. And then suddenly they feel better. Suddenly they feel empowered. They feel a lot more confident. Just how you were feeling before you got involved with them. That's where all of that energy came from. They got it from you. Well, suddenly you're left feeling unmotivated, depressed, miserable, angry, frustrated. You weren't feeling that way before. You're feeling that way now because they've robbed you of your characteristics and they've dumped theirs in you. Which makes them feel empowered. It makes them feel very confident. But they can't sustain it because that's not really them. They've got a bit of supply of you, a bit of fuel to keep them going for a certain amount of time. And that's why many of them will hoover you. Because then they feel regret. They're watching you, they're stalking you, spying on you. Seeing you regenerated your health, your strength, your vitality. You're feeling like yourself again. You're feeling stronger, more empowered. They're seeing that. And they're feeling depleted. They're not feeling like they're you anymore. Because they can't sustain it, they can't generate it from within. Because it's fake, they're not really you. So then what do? They've got to come back to you. They've got to hoover you. Because they're not going to get that from anyone else. They've got to get it from the source. From where it came from. Because it was you that made them feel good. It was you that made them feel more confident. It was you that made them feel better about themselves, or should I say their false self. You made them feel better about their false self because they stole characteristics from you and added it to complement the false self. But these characteristics do not last for long. Because they can't generate it from within. So they have to keep coming back to you. They have to stalk on you. They have to spy on you. Because they got it from you. They got it from the source. And this is why when you were with them you started feeling depleted. I mean, just think about it. Where did all of that enthusiasm go? All of that confidence? All of that energy? Your characteristics? Where did all of that go? It was being drained out of you. They were leeching off of it. They were taking it from you and adding it to their false self. Because they're leeches, they're bloodsuckers. And then you're left feeling unmotivated, feeling depressed. It feels horrible. But that's actually how they feel every day. They feel hopeless, miserable, invisible. This is how they always feel. And that's how when they get around you, they make you feel that way. They make you feel like nothing. Because that's how they were feeling before they got involved with you. Before they stripped you of your energy, your power. They want to be you. And that's why you feel like you're not you, or you can't be you, while they're beginning to feel more and more like you. And this is why they hate it when you leave, or even if they discard you. They hate it when they see you going off. And then you're beginning to heal, you're regenerating yourself. They can't stand it. Because they feel like you should be giving that to them. This is why they get very jealous. Because they want that from you. They feel entitled to it. They feel like that should be theirs. They feel like they should be you. They should have what you have. They should have the confidence that you've got. Initially, they will try and manipulate you. If that doesn't work, they will just rob it from you. They will force you to hand it over to them. Because they don't want to be themselves. They don't want to feel the way that they feel. They're looking at you. And you feel good. You're happy, you're confident, you're motivated, you're full of self-belief. And they want some of that. They want to feel like what it feels like to be you. And that's why they take it from you. Because it does not make them feel good. Viewing you as something separate from themselves. It makes them feel inferior. It makes them feel jealous. To see you as being a separate, independent being. It overpowers, overwhelms them. And that's why they then try to fight back against it. But yeah, when they see you moving on, when they see you going off without them, they feel a sense of loss. They feel like they're missing something. And it's a difference because you may feel like you're missing something too. Because they got around you. Many of them, they do know, they are aware of it. They know why they're getting around you for. They know what they're trying to do. They target you to take from you. But that's why they act so negative. That's why they go to the devaluation. Because they're trying to take from you your qualities, your characteristics. And then you're left feeling like you've lost something. You feel like you've lost them. But actually no, they've just taken a part of you away from you. And that's what you've lost. Because they're trying to be you. So there is a difference there. Because they're taken from you and they're not reciprocating anything of equal value back to you based on what you're giving to them. And that's how They feel great. When they come in, they take from you, and then they go. They're left feeling empowered. They're left feeling on top of the world. They feel great about it. You're the one who's left feeling sad. You're the one who's left feeling like you've lost something. Because what you're giving is worth far more than what you're getting back. And that's why you're the one who's left feeling disappointed. They're not. They're fine. And that's why they're typically the ones who then discard you. They're the ones who get rid of you. Once they've come in and they've taken your characteristics, what do they need you for? They view you as an object, an appliance, a tool, someone who they can take from. There's no reason for them to stick around once they've gotten what they wanted. They take from you, and then they leave. They might lie to you and future fake so that they can keep getting from you. But then it's time for them to go. They're not going to stick around so that you can demand something from them. Their plan was to come in, get what they want from you, and then leave without giving anything back to you. Because they just want to be you. They just want to have what you have. They want to feel the way that you feel. But sometimes they can feel regret. Many of them will feel regret when they see you moving on. When they see things getting better for you. When they see that you're happier without them. When they see that you've created a new version of yourself. Version 2.0. You've upgraded yourself. You've restored your energy. You're getting involved in all new hobbies and interests. Maybe you've got some new music that you like. And now they feel like they're missing out. Now they feel like they've lost something. And that's when they try to hoover you. They try to come back. Because they want a piece of that. They want a slice of the action. They want a piece of the pie. They don't want to be alone by themselves. With who they are. With who they have to be. With their own feelings about themselves. But also sometimes they can mislead you. They will come into it with all sorts of enthusiasm and energy. They can seem very encouraging. Like they really want to build you up. They really want to help you. They want to make you better. They can make it seem that way. But usually it's just lies and future faking. They have nothing to bring to you. They're only there to take away. To take away from you. To take away from who you are. And to make it a part of themselves. While as for you, you're the real deal. You got involved with them and you were all in. You wore your heart on your sleeve. You were just willingly giving out your energy. Making them feel great, making them feel empowered. And they were lapping it up. They were loving it. Because they were getting all of that for free. They didn't have to work for it, they didn't have to earn it, they didn't have to give anything to you in return. They just got it out of you, your light, your positive energy. You were drip feeding it to them. Something that they were not worthy of because they did not share your same qualities. And this is why when you get involved with them, everything has to be all about them. Everything has to revolve around them. They have to demand all of your attention. Your entire life has to revolve around them. Because they have nothing to give to you. It's a false character. They are manipulating you. And this is why as time goes by, you become less and less like yourself. Well, as for them, they become more confident, more certain of themselves. When they initially targeted you, it's like they seemed very confused. They were playing the victim. But then they get involved with you, and then suddenly you become very unsure, and they become very confident about who they are. Because they've taken from you. They've stripped you of your self-assuredness, your confidence, your certainty in who you are. They've depleted you of that. And then they go off feeling confident. They go off feeling empowered. But it's not real self-empowerment. It's empowerment at your expense. Because how are you feeling after that? And this is why it's always a red flag. When you get around someone, and maybe it feels good in the moment, and then you feel worse afterwards, this is a sign that something has been taken from you. Something has been stripped from you. Something that you had before. Your life force energy, your characteristics have been taken from you and given to them, which is what they came around you for. It's what they wanted from you. They don't just come around you for nothing with all of that energy and enthusiasm, all of that excitement. Sometimes you may misinterpret it. You may see it as though they're just like you. They're excited about building something with you. They see an opportunity to grow with someone. No, they don't. They're looking at you like a snack, like a meal ticket, like a pack of dogs around a piece of meat. They're just consuming you. They're consuming your time, your energy, your resources, because it feels much better than for them to consume anything to do with themselves. Because they lack the emotional strength, the emotional faculties. They don't work on themselves. They're fraudsters, they're fakes, they're con artists. They're just pretending to be something. And this is why many of you, what do? You tone yourself down. And you may not even be thinking about it. But you tone yourself down, you become quiet, you're walking on eggshells. Because you realise at some level you're dealing with a leech. You realise that this person is stripping you of this. They're taking it from you. Because they don't have that. What they want from you is what they're deficient in. It's not that they see someone who's similar to them and they want to build with you. They wear a mask. They lie to you. They hide their true character. They're not passionate about the things that you're passionate about. They don't like what you like. And this is why they find the most joy in hurting you. and taken from you. They get that duper's delight. They feel like they've gotten something out of you. Something that they didn't deserve. Something that they had no right to take. Because they know they're not worthy of it. They know they have no business being around you. And that's how they feel that way. Because you're not feeling too excited about it. You're not feeling joy from being around them. You're gradually being depleted. Because while they're taken from you, they don't have the characteristics, the energy reserves to reciprocate back to you. Because if you imagine if it's two similar people with similar characteristics who are both full of energy, they can reciprocate back to each other and still feel like themselves. The problem is that this narcissist is nothing like you. They come around you only to take, to steal that which they do not deserve, that which they are not worthy of, that which has nothing to do with them, but they just see it as something that empowers them, something that makes them feel more confident, desirable, and attractive. And that's why they want to take that from you. That's what they wanted from you. And this is why the more time you spend around them, you feel less and less like yourself. Because they're looking at you feeling like they've just hit a gold mine. Feeling like they've struck gold with you. Because deep down they hate themselves, they don't like who they are. But then they get to be around you, they get to have your energy. And this is how they can become very controlling, very jealous, very possessive. They want to control everything about you. Because of course they feel like they've struck gold with you. They feel like they've got something of value. So of course they want to have control of it. Of course they want to have power over you. And typically what you will find is they will typically come after you when you are trapped, such as in a car. Maybe they're driving you in a car and they use that as an opportunity to suck the life out of you. Or it could be when you're distracted. Maybe you've got a lot of work to do. Maybe you've got a deadline the next day, you've got to complete a project. They'll keep you up all night. Because they see that as an opportunity to drain you of your energy and characteristics. Of the very things that they lack. And this is why when you're around them, you feel distracted, disoriented. You feel like you're being pulled out of yourself. You don't feel grounded in yourself. You don't feel grounded in your own mind, in your own thoughts, in your own energy. Because it's being occupied. It's being sucked out of you. by a predator, by someone who doesn't have what you have. Because otherwise you should feel good. You should be feeling good afterwards. You shouldn't be leaving an interaction and feeling worse, feeling less than yourself. And this is why they isolate you. This is why they make it so that you have nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to see. Because otherwise, what happens? If you've got all of these things to do, all of these projects, these hobbies, these interests, these other people in your life, where's that energy going? Your characteristics. You're sharing your characteristics with people who deserve them, maybe. So those energy and characteristics are going somewhere else, rather than it going to them, rather than it building up their false self. This is why they isolate you. This is why they want to keep you all to themselves. Because they're energy vampires, they're leeches. They want to blood suck you dry of your purity, your innocence. And it's very effective because you're unaware. If you're a kind, innocent person vibrating at the frequency of love, you're not going to be aware of it. You're not going to see it coming. They just steamroll over you. And they take everything you've got. But you find yourself becoming less and less like yourself. You don't know who you are anymore. Perfect time for them to discredit you and say, who are you trying to be? Who do you think you are? Because they've just robbed you of your characteristics, your energy. The perfect murder. And honestly, for many narcissists, this isn't even something they can switch on or off. I mean, automatically, when they get around someone of high energy, they can only ever be a leech. And this is why we talk about going no contact. Because the only way that you can preserve your energy is by not being in contact with them. That's the only way. But yeah, when they see you moving on, when they see things getting better for you, when they see that you're happier, more successful, you're brighter, you're feeling good about yourself, when they see that, they feel a sense of loss. This is why they don't want you to heal. They don't want you to move on. Because they're looking at you like they've hit a gold mine. They're looking at it like they've struck gold with you. And they just want to rake in all of the treasures. They just want to take it all from you. Because they haven't got that. They can't create that for themselves. So they've got to get it from you. And this is why you see them pop up everywhere. As soon as you start moving on, suddenly they're watching you in your stories, they're liking your pictures, got a missed call, or you hear that they're talking to your family or friends. What do you think all that's about? Again, it's to get your energy. It's to distract you, to get you to focus on them again. Because that's all they want. They want your energy, your characteristics. They want to be you. But they're not worthy of you. They're not deserving of you. They have no shared interest. They have nothing in common with you. And that's how you're left feeling depleted. You're left feeling like you're not yourself anymore. Like you don't even know who you are anymore. You're missing part of you. You feel like you've been erased. You feel invisible. Because they've stripped you of everything. Everything that you are, everything that you have. They've taken that from you and handed it to themselves. And that's why they hate it when they see you moving on. When they see you empowering yourself. When they see things getting better for you, they can't stand it. They want to have power over you. They want to have that control. They want to keep you stuck. This is why they hate it when you focus on yourself. They hate it when you're looking in the mirror. When you're taking good care of yourself and you're grooming yourself. Getting a new haircut. Buying some new clothes. You're looking good, looking fresh. When you're going out with your friends. They can't stand any of it. Because that's you. That's you being you. That's you taking care of yourself. That's you loving yourself. And that's you being around other people who are more like you. Instead of someone who's just a predator. Someone who's exploiting you for your energy, your innocence, your self-worth. This is why they do this to you. This is why they manipulate you. This is why they groom you, they exploit you. This is why they start devaluing you. They don't want you to be you, they want to be you. They want to be happy, they want to be free at your expense. Because what they don't want to do is they don't want to go within. They just want to control you. And it's good for them, but it's no good for you. Because you're being controlled, you're being enrolled in some project, some endeavor. Essentially, it's like a pyramid scheme among two people. And they're just running you into the ground. They're just draining the life out of you. And there's nothing in it for you. It's just you doing all of the work. It's you doing and giving everything. But what about you? What are you getting out of it? And this is what you've got to think about when you move on. You've got to be very careful. Because, of course, they were feeling good, they were feeling empowered, They were feeling confident, strong, yeah, when they were around you, because you're their supply. So of course, what happens when you're gone? Then they feel about this small. They feel like they're nothing. And that's why they start watching you, spying on you, hoovering you, because they want that back. They view you as an appliance, a tool that makes them feel better about themselves. And that's what they're going to use you for. And again, it's different from people who actually share a similar amount of energy, strength, vitality that can generate from within. People who actually have shared interests. They actually like to do the things that you like to do. Such as maybe they like similar music. So honestly, there's so many people in this world who can act so passionate, so enthusiastic about things in the beginning. Then you give it time, you find out they're not even about that. They're not even about it. If they were, why are they about it now? Why are they about it now? They just mirror you, they use it as a tool to extract what they want from you, so that they can start feeling more and more like you. Because maybe they don't feel so confident. You see so many men who are acting like women, so many women who are acting like men. And what are they doing? These men exploiting women to get their characteristics, to get their emotions. Women are doing that with men. Women are becoming more dominant and controlling. Men are becoming more emotional and submissive, more manipulative. And it's not meant to be that way. But of course, yes, maybe beta males. It's understandable, beta males could be more manipulative, more emotional. But then at the same time, there's no one to guide them, no one to control them. Because yes, those types of people, they need to be controlled. They're dangerous. You never know what they're going to do next with their emotions. But yeah, they will feel regret. They will feel it. They will feel a sense of loss, because remember, they feel entitled to you. From the moment they set sights on you, they feel like they own you. They feel like they got it in the bag. They feel like everything you are, everything that you have, belongs to them. They feel like you're their little toy. You're their little puppet. They can have their way with you. They can do whatever they want with you. Because they feel like you're theirs. They feel like you belong to them now. That's why they're feeling so confident, they're feeling so empowered. But then, when you leave, or if they underestimated you, they discarded you, and then you start getting better, you start feeling more and more like yourself. And the tables have turned. They're there like feeling like they're missing out on with you again. Because that's just it. It's a false identity. It's fraudulent. They feel up here when you're down there. They get that deepest delight when they feel like they've got one over on you, when they feel like they've exploited you. It's not even real. A lot of this is just happening inside their heads. It's a delusion. And it needs external supporters. Usually there are just a bunch of narcissists in this delusion together. Mass psychosis. But it feels so much better when they've got someone real. Someone real who is supporting it. Someone who is actually grounded in reality based on logic and reason. Rather than that out of control emotions. Because the reality is that, well, again, sometimes we can feel hurt. We can feel upset about things. Our feelings are subjective. It's inside our own minds. It doesn't impact the external reality. But what does are facts and logic. Emotional revelation. Rather than just speaking the facts, speaking the truth. Now let me hear from you. What do you think about what I've said here today? Have you noticed your narcissist feeling regrets? Have you seen them acting strange lately? Maybe they've been waiting in the bushes outside your house, stalking you on your social media. Maybe they want to know where you're going, who you're with, what you're doing. Snooky Farris says you are a godsend, sir. I appreciate the compliment. Lady Wiser says I can spot a narcissist now 10 miles away. I can hear a narcissist 10 miles away. I listen out for the beep, the horn. J528 says same story with them, just a different day. Yet they are stuck on a loop for the rest of their lives because they lack conscious awareness. They're barely even experiencing life. They're not even connected to the real world. They're in a separate world of their own making inside their heads, based on their feelings. Now, I've got nothing against feelings. I understand people get hurt. People need emotional validation. Feelings can hold a lot of value. They can be used to create art. But also, whenever you're too emotional, rather than logical, you're not even in reality. You're in a different world. You're disconnected from reality and you're inside your own head. And When you start getting other people emotional, you're bringing them into a fantasy world as well. And I've always known this. I've always used this as a part of my videos from the very beginning. Initially, in my videos, I start off more logical, factual. And then towards the middle, I use a different type of music to where it's more emotional, more fantastical. And then at the end of the video, then I finish it with something more logical and factual, so that the viewer can then just go about their day instead of just being in fantasy world. Because our emotions are fantasy. Our emotions are subjective. What's done to one person may not affect another person the same way. But then, of course, everyone is entitled to their boundaries, their deal breakers. Steady Pace says, narcs talk loud around you and sweet and quiet in front of others. Yes, that's because they want to dominate you. They want to conquer you. They want to harness your energy and power. While other people may not have that. And that's how they end up being enablers, fly monkeys, followers. Because they're getting a sense of power from the narcissist. And the narcissist is getting their power from you. So you end up supplying all of them. J528 Hertz says, sometimes if you are dragged in their world, you can't turn back if you're not strong. Be careful. That's right, it can be very difficult to turn back out of it. I mean, just look at the flying monkeys. They're trapped in this fantasy world. They've already gone down the rabbit hole. They can't find their way back out. And yeah, I think it can happen. It does happen to a lot of people. They get pulled into the rabbit hole and then they get stuck. They can't find their way back out. And that's really what the narcissist wants. Because that's exactly what happened to them. They were traumatized as a child. They got stuck in La La Land. And now they never want to come out. Now they want to stay there for the rest of their lives, detached from reality. And of course, the only way they can do that is to pull everyone else into it as well. So that there's no opposition. There's nothing that goes against it. Enter the Realm says, you've got to put countermeasures in place. Let them know. It won't stop them, but it'll make them think twice. And that's when they disappear, because they know they are defeated and exposed. That's right, I mean, you've got to think that these people are mentally ill. They have a disorder. They need to be restrained. That's the only thing that's going to stop them from exploiting people, taking advantage of them, controlling them. abusing them. Many of them, I think, they need to be held in a straitjacket because they've lost control of their own minds, of their own emotions. They can't control their own behaviors, their own actions. They need to be restrained. They need to be kept under control. And this is why restraining orders are available in many countries around the world. But then also be careful, because they don't want to be restrained. They want to control. They want to pull everyone into their little fantasy world based on emotions, based on their own insecurities, their own feelings of inadequacy. They want to pull everyone else into that to validate them, to make them feel perfect, to make them feel like they can't do anything wrong. It's just fantasy. Or because they don't want to deal with the shame. They don't want to deal with the consequences of their actions. So yeah, be careful, even if you're trying to get a restraining order on them. That may just cause a narcissistic injury, and then they may lash out at you even more. So you've got to be very careful when you're dealing with them. What they want for you is to be out of your power. I mean, think about it. If you imagine a bike, a car, if you're using it, if you're operating it, then how can they use it? And this is why they have to take you out of it. They have to take you out of the bike, out of the car, so that it's vacant. It's available for their use. It's accessible to them, so that they can then jump into it and start using it and controlling it. This is what they do with your energy, your characteristics. First, they have to take you out of it. And they can do that through manipulation, devaluation, coercion, gaslighting, shaming you, making you feel fear, so that you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. Brings you out of your own character. And then they can jump into it, almost like Transformers. They can start jumping into it and controlling it. They can get involved in it. They can use it. So then they start feeling more stronger, more empowered. You're left feeling less and less like yourself, because now you're no longer operating it. You're no longer functioning it. And this is why they like to narrow everything down. Everything becomes so simplistic. There's all of these comparisons. Everything's just reduced down to something like it's the be-all, end-all. Like, this is where it stops here. This is the final say, the last word. This is where it ends, because when it ends, you surrender yourself over to them, over to their domination and control. So then they get to be you, they get to feel like they're you. But if you keep it going, if you don't let it stop there, and instead you're like, okay, what's the next thing? And you move around, you move your body, you exercise, go to a different location, you go on a trip somewhere, you start to feel more like yourself again. Or maybe you just start listening to a new type of music, You read a different book other than the one that the narcissist already knows about, that they trauma bonded you to them to, or to them with, rather. So they've already gotten inside your head. They made it all about them. You read a different book. You listen to different music. Now you start to feel more like yourself again. The energy returns. Because everything in this world, doesn't matter if it's a car, a building, a book, music, even your own reflection, because they'll pick out things about you. They'll find something that you're insecure about. They'll gain control of it. So that every time you look at yourself in the mirror, all you can think about is them and what they said about you. He has to control everything. This is why it feels so good when you get a haircut, you change your clothes, you read a different book, you listen to different music. It helps you to escape the trauma bond. The trauma bond is just where they share their trauma with you because they don't like themselves. And then they get you to give your energy, your characteristics to them. This is why you've got to keep it moving. Never stop. They want it to stop, they want it to end. Because their stop, their ending, is where they become you. It's where they label you as nothing, worthless, nobody. And they take everything from you. Now they're just this innocent victim. They're faultless, they're flawless, they're perfect. I know that we're perfect, but that's how they view us, remember. That's how they viewed us initially. They idealized us. That's what drew them to us. So that's what they're trying to become. The perfect, idealized version of us. And they want us to be the horrible, flawed version of them. That's the end goal. And that's why when you're feeling self-motivated, when you've got self-belief, and they just wanted to stop, they wanted to end. So that they can feel perfect at your expense, because that was the initial trauma. They envied you. They saw it as though they were deficient in what you have. It revealed flaws, defects in their false self. Twinkie says, is it possible for gang stalkers to trauma bond us to them? I would say not really, unless you know them personally. Because think about it, if you don't know them, if you never talk to them, how could you be trauma bonded to them? But they can be trauma bonded to you. Because they may be watching you, they may be studying you, they may think that they know you. So they may be trauma bonded to you, and they may try to trauma bond you to them. But it's unlikely to be successful unless you're living with one, or you're in a relationship with one. Because otherwise what's going to happen is it's going to end very quickly. I mean, if you're not seeing this person every day, how is it going to last? You're going to move past it. You're going to find something else to distract yourself, to occupy your time. I mean, you're not going to invest emotionally into someone you don't even know or someone you haven't met. So you can't really be trauma bonded to them. Remember, gang stalkers are very paranoid, so they may think that you are. Because they may not understand how trauma bonded works as well. So in their minds, they may think that you're trauma bonded, but actually it's just them. And they're just feeling you pull away from them energetically. So it is them who's trauma bonded to you. That's why they're the ones who are gang stalking you. You're not the one who's stalking them. If you're stalking them, then that means you're likely to be trauma bonded. If you're finding this video helpful so far, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. But yeah, what they really want is that energy that you had at the beginning. You know, when you see something about you, you thought that they were valuable, they married you, you believed in them. That's what they want from you. That moment where you were all in with them, you had your heart in your sleeve because you thought it was something real. That's what they want from you, because they don't have that. They did have that in their childhood. And what happened to them when they had that? They were abused or neglected. Their parents showed a different side of themselves. And that's why they don't have that anymore. They can only mimic it, to imitate it. And they get it from the love bombing phase when they manipulate you. And this is why when you're engaged in something passionate, there's always a certain moment where they like to be involved in it. It's when you've got the most energy, the most enthusiasm. That's when they're all in on it. Because it's like, yeah, give me some of that. Give me what I'm missing. That's how they're thinking. I mean, they may not be consciously thinking about it like that, but it's that hunger, that drive that they have. It's because they're missing something. Missing something for themselves. Whereas for us, what motivates us, what drives us, is to protect and preserve, to build. That's what drives us. But with a narcissist, it's just all for themselves. It's all about what can they get out of you, while giving you as little as possible back in return. Now it's time for me to go to the gym. I'm going to do my workout. Everyone's waiting for me in there. I got some new songs that I just downloaded. So I'm going to listen to that now and do some weights. Working on myself every day. Every day is another set of goals, another set of things to accomplish. Making videos, learning more, educating myself, working on my body, becoming fitter, stronger, educating people, making them more aware, traveling, exploring new things, developing or maintaining relationships, everything I do, it's designed to build my character. It's designed to upgrade me to the next level. And it doesn't mean that everything has to be positive. Sometimes negative things can build you up as well. Sometimes negative things can drive you. What do you just think? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to end up that way. I don't want to get sucked into that black hole. And then it keeps you moving, keeps you going. Even if, yeah, it may slightly traumatize you. It may put you into flight. But at least you're moving somewhere, you're moving towards your healing. You're moving away from something that could have destroyed you. So yeah, I just want to finish with that motivating, empowering message for you. Thank you all for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'm currently changing my AdSense, so I'm not earning any income when I make these videos. However, you are welcome to donate, which will help to support the channel. You could donate to my PayPal. It's paypal.me/Narc Survivor. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Click all notifications to be notified when I go live again. If you'd like to book a one-on-one coaching session, just go to my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. And you can follow me on Instagram, Narc Survivor YouTube. I'm uploading content from my trip last year to Japan every day on there. Alright, thank you all. And I will talk to you soon.